pretty clean in all three phases of the game to defeat a good football team. There's times and opportunities that were out there. Certainly we shot ourselves in the foot. I thought we responded in other parts of the game fairly well. But Utah State's a good football team, and to defeat them, we were going to need to play well. And we had several self-inflicted wounds tonight in all three phases of the game, and you're not going to defeat a good football team by playing that way.
Craig, obviously, you mentioned the self-inflicted wounds. What were the toughest? Was it the penalties, the turnovers late? I'm sure they all mounted, but in your mind, what was the most critical one?
Well, some of the turnovers, that defense is a very aggressive defense that has been good. And so coming in, we knew we were going to do that. I think where we really lost opportunities when we got in the red zone and had several penalties that took us out of what would be our normal wheelhouse of play calls. And sometimes during the course of the year, we've been able to overcome that. That's a good defense, and we weren't. And so that's disappointing. And there's not a lot of the season left, but those are the things that playing a good football team like this, we've got to clean up.
Was it a thing, Craig, where you lost your poise a little bit in some of those penalties, or what can you put your finger on? What caused a lot of those? Because you hadn't been penalized a ton this season.
No, but there's been times I think we've done a little bit. Poise, I don't know. Concentration, I definitely would say. And so, we've got to take a look at how we're forming things and what would cause some of the penalties that we did have.
Was it encouraging to see after, obviously, you're down 17-0 so quick, but to see the defense kind of rally and the rest of the game actually played pretty well?
I thought that was a bright spot. Coming into the game, we knew they had good skill, and they were executing some running plays where big games, and we adapted. I thought our coaches made some nice adjustments at halftime, and I thought our defensive guys, for the most part, came out and corrected quite a few of those mistakes. Now, they did get a drive, and I think they got a score there, but outside of that, I thought we bounced back in a fairly good fashion.
How would you assess Colby's play tonight, Craig? I know you did have the two picks. The one was tipped.
Yeah.
How much that would seem like they did a good job?
Yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag. Obviously we'll watch the tape tomorrow, but we don't want to take anything away from Utah State's defense. We knew that they were going to be good, but I was encouraged. We had spots where we were moving the ball fairly well. The thing we've got to be able to do is when we get down in the red zone, continue to put scoring drives together, touchdowns instead of we had one field goal. And to beat a team like this, we're certainly going to need to score more than 3 points.
What was the message, Craig, at halftime to the team, particularly when you're down 17-3, but it was really on 2 big plays?
Right. Well, we talked about that there were some things that we can correct. That the game was definitely within reach. We're going to have possession of the football. We talked about making some adjustments, and I thought we did some nice things with that. And so I'm disappointed that the score wasn't closer. The way the second half was going, it looked like we could really make a heck of a run at this deal. We got down there. I think we were going at the south end, and we really struggled.
Going forward, just what do you need to clean up as far as the punt coverage, where it's been a couple of games in a row here where they've had big returns against you guys?
Well, some of it, we got our guys stacked on the one punt, and that comes into working more than net drill, and some of that's fundamental stuff that we'll address with our bye week coming up.
How much did their speed affect you tonight, Coach?
I thought offensively it really had us on our heels, and when they were breaking in the secondary, that's a challenge for us, and particularly right now. And but our guys responded, and I thought, like I said, our coaches did some good adjusting to deploy our guys in position to where if a run popped, it wasn't going to just be Katie Barber